Yellow fever, known historically as yellow jack or yellow plague, is a serious viral disease. In most cases, symptoms include chills, loss of appetite, fever, nausea, muscle pains, and headaches. Yellow fever is known for bringing on a characteristic yellow tinge to the eyes and skin and for the terrible black vomit caused by bleeding into the stomach. Known today to be spread by infected mosquitoes, yellow fever was long believed to be a miasmatic disease originating in rotting vegetable matter and other putrefying filth, and most believe the fever to be contagious. The first major American yellow fever epidemic hit Philadelphia in July 1793 and peaked during the first weeks of October. 2,000 free blacks lived there, as well as many recent white French-speaking arrivals from the colony of Santo Domingo who were fleeing from a slave rebellion. Major revolutionary political figures lived there, and in the first week of September, Thomas Jefferson wrote to James Madison that everyone who could escape the city was doing so. The epidemic depopulated Philadelphia. 5,000 out of a population of 45,000 died, and chronicler Matthew Carey estimated that another 17,000 fled. Benjamin Rush, a Philadelphia physician and signer of the Declaration of Independence, became highly regarded for his work during the 1793 epidemic. Rush thought that the outbreak had originated in a pile of rotting coffee beans left on the docks. He developed a very aggressive approach to the treatment, copiously bleeding his patients and administering large quantities of mercury. These aggressive therapeutics became known not always favorably as heroic medicine. As the population fled or died, few were left to attend to nursing and burying duties. Rush, who believed that blacks were immune to yellow fever, asked members of the African Society to come forward and care for the sick and the dead. Absalom Jones and Richard Allen, two free black men, volunteered. In a few weeks, Jones, Allen, and others were bleeding hundreds of people a day under Rush's direction, as well as nursing patients and carrying coffins. About 2 months into the epidemic, however, Rush was proven wrong. Blacks began to fall ill, dying from yellow fever at about the same rate as whites. The Bush Hill Hospital, which housed the sick poor, was desperately understaffed. When Philadelphia's mayor asked the public for help, a French-born merchant from Santo Domingo named Stephen Girard stepped up and recommended his compatriot, Dr. Jean Devizzi, to head the hospital. Devizzi refused to believe that yellow fever was contagious, and he disapproved of Rush's aggressive treatments. Devizzi later became a world authority on yellow fever. After some warm days, fever cases recurred. The white flag had to be struck. Finally, on November 13, stagecoaches resumed service to the north and the south. A merchant reported that the streets were in an uproar and rendered the wharves impossible by reason of the vast quantities of wine, sugar, rum, coffee, and cotton. The porters are quite savvy and demand extravagantly for anything they do. On November 14, the mayor's committee recommended purifying houses, clothing, and bedding, but said that anyone could come to the city without danger from late prevailing disorder. An official register of deaths listed 4,044 people as dying between August 1st and November 9th, 1793. City officials, medical and religious leaders, and newspaper publishers reported the number and names of victims based on the minutes of the mayor's committee. Even though it was the end of the epidemic did not end the controversies among the city's doctors, who disagreed about causes and treatment. Hearing rumors that colleagues were going to try to get him expelled from the College of Physicians, Rush resigned and formed a new medical society, which many of the city's younger doctors joined.